Hello, fifth grade. Welcome back. Today, what we're going to do real quick is we're going to tighten up the notes and some of the information that you all dealt with yesterday. So, obviously, you can see this screen looks very similar to what you have in your notebook, or for the most part. And we really want to make sure that you have all the parts and all the answers down here at the bottom with these question marks, because some of y'all had questions about what's going on down here. And we're just going to shore that up really quick today. So I definitely want you to follow along with your notebook, and you definitely need to make some changes where changes need to be made if there was something that you had that's incorrect or you didn't add as much detail. So let's just get into it really quick. Okay, the first thing, I'll start here at the title. This is kind of the whole point of what we're doing. This is going to give you an example, and actually two examples, of how the Romans built their empire. Okay, it's not exactly the same as the Greeks. It's got a lot of different things going on. Okay, and the first bullet point here says that they built military outposts, what we today would call like a fort, on hills or even along rivers. So that's what all of this information is down here that you guys have put into your notebooks already. So if you notice in example one here, I have this hill and this hill, and I have this military outpost and this military outpost. So that's just to show you all that this little fort here on top of this hill and this little fort on this hill are going to have some connections going on in between. And the same thing is going to be true down here with the stuff related to the river. Okay, so they built them along hills, or they built them, as you can see, along the river. So we're just going to imagine that this is going to represent the river. So as you can see, there's a cluster of outposts over here, as well as a cluster of outposts over here on both sides of the river. Okay, in the first example, that's what's going on with bullet two. They built roads between the settlements. Okay, the roads that they built were pretty sturdy, and even today, some of them still exist, believe it or not. So the Romans took a lot of effort into building their roads. So they would build a road in between, let's just say, outpost number one over here to outpost number two. Okay. And this stuff going on in the middle is pretty much what you see here with the third bullet point. Now, this is going to be the same for the river example, but basically, they build this road so that in case of an emergency, if there was a battle or something that happened, they could move troops from one place to the other. So if there was some kind of issue over at this outpost, they could move troops over there. If something happened over at this outpost, they could make the troops and move all their supplies and things over to there. Okay. And the same thing, like it says up here with the supplies. Obviously, I just put the little fruit baskets over here to represent the supplies, but that pretty much shows you for the first example what's going on. You've got the outposts, you've got the road that's been built, you have the soldiers, you have the goods, you have the supplies. So they're just kind of traveling in between the two locations. Now, the river is the same situation. Obviously, along the river, they would use boats as opposed to walking like on the road, but it's pretty much the same concept. Okay, now there's a lot of benefits from that because as you expand your empire, you can add more forts, you can add more outposts, which means you can get supplies and soldiers further and further and further away from the central point, which was the city of Rome itself. So as they're expanding their empire, they're going to be doing this along the way to kind of hop up and down all around all over the places. Okay, now let's jump down to the bottom here related to all this stuff with the chart. Okay, what happens here is the green statement is just a fact that as the Romans conquered different groups, they took over different groups, they gave those people rights, believe it or not. So, what I put in green here was that people that were conquered by the Romans could vote, they could serve in the government, they could pay taxes, and they could serve in the Roman army. Okay, so they didn't just take people over and make them prisoners, or they didn't just take people over and kick them out of where they used to live. They took people over and they conquered different lands, and along the way, they gave these rights and many more to the people that were newly conquered. Okay, they kind of just let them join the Roman Empire as opposed to just kicking them out and things like that. So, what about these question marks? Okay, well, what you should do if you haven't already in your notebook is you should actually use this question as the basis for what should go in this box. If you literally wrote a question mark, you can just erase it, or you can write underneath or do something to get rid of these question marks, because these were just here as a placeholder. Okay. And since you guys are all listening to this, let's just go ahead and walk through it really quick. Okay. Why do you think this is good? Now, again, this is your opinion, but a lot of you all had already shared these with me, so I can go ahead and give you all some of the answers. The voted. Okay. Why is it good that they let conquered people vote? Well, a lot of you all said that those conquered people would feel like they were part of the Roman Empire, instead of just feeling like people that got taken over. A lot of people also said that they thought it was a good thing that they let them vote because they would let in other opinions. So as you took over more and more groups of people, you were going to get more and more ideas and more different opinions on what different things could become laws and things like that. So those are pretty good examples for that first one. Or there's obviously more opinions than just one, but those are pretty good to start with. Okay. People that were conquered by the Romans could also serve in the Roman government. All right. Why would we think that's good? Well, kind of the same concept of the voting, but realistically, those people would also, again, feel like they were being allowed to be part of something. They felt like they were actually important in Roman society. And again, they could bring their new ideas or different ideas to the table. So again, they were not just treated like slaves or the low class or whatever. They were actually allowed to be part of the Roman government. So very similar to kind of the voting rights, but this is just slightly different because they could actually serve in the government and not just vote on things like regular citizens. Okay, paying taxes. Well, you might not think that paying taxes is a good thing, but it actually is. Because if you're allowed to pay taxes, those taxes are going to go towards a lot of different things, much like they do still today. So those taxes could be going towards building of roads, which maybe you would want a road built from your village or from your city. Those taxes would go towards paying soldiers or buying armament or different things for soldiers. And they could go for a lot of different things that, they're just innumerable ways that taxes are used. Building roads, bridges, outposts, paying for the military, paying for food, all kinds of good stuff. So definitely, if you pay your taxes, you get to kind of reap the benefits of all the stuff that the Romans have. You get some of the riches, you get some of the spoils. Okay. And why do you think this is good to serve in the army? Well, again, you might think this is kind of weird because if you had just got conquered by the Roman army, why would you want to turn around and just join it right after being defeated? Well, obviously that's a good thing because first of all, they're not going to take over your army and just, kill everybody or put everybody in jail or anything like that. They're going to give you the opportunity to just turn around and join their ranks and join their army. Okay. And a lot of you all that shared your answers with me, you said good things on this one as well. Just like, again, you could have people that are very good at military things join the Roman army and give, their ideas about ways to fight different groups and just things like that. Again, there's a lot of different answers, but that's pretty much the basics on that one. Okay. So again, for today, is there any official assignment? No. Okay. You don't have to send me anything. If you had not sent me anything yesterday, that's a different story. But for now, everybody that shared their picture of their notebook page or showed me their notebook page in any way, shape, or form, you should be good. But I definitely want to make sure that you all have included the yellow terms up here, the yellow bullet points. Definitely, I saw a lot of people add a lot of good details to both of their pictures here, the road version and the river version. And you definitely need to make sure that you go back down here at the bottom and copy not just the boxes with the tag in it, but fill in these question mark boxes down here with actual information. Okay. Again, hope you guys could follow along pretty well. Feel free to go back and listen to it again or pause it in different places. Email me any specific questions if you have any regarding this or anything else that's going on with class. And like always, hope you guys are staying safe, healthy, and hope to see you soon. All right. Bye bye.